But she knew home would have to wait, for she had promises to keep. So she sought solace in sleepless dreams of salvation and tattooed secret sins on the top of her tongue so that she would know the sweet taste of revenge.
Hi, welcome to Focal Point on CCP TV, the educational channel of Community College of Philadelphia. I'm Darlene Monts, a student in the Communication Arts curriculum. We have a very rhythmic show for you today. I am here with the advisor of the Spoken Word Poetry Club, Dr. Michelle Myers. In addition to advising the club, Michelle is the associate professor and department head of the Learning Lab here at the college. She is the founding member of the spoken word group Yellow Rage, which was featured on HBO's Russell Simmons Presents Deaf Poetry Jam. You may have seen her on our channel for CCP's Drop the Mic. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much for having me.
So spoken word poetry seems to be well integrated in your life. Tell me, Michelle, what influenced you to start?
When I started to take the performance and writing workshop at the Asian Arts Initiative, then one of the other participants in the workshop introduced me to Asian American spoken word poets. So she shared with me a CD by the Asian American spoken word poetry group I Was Born with Two Tongues. And it was just amazing for me to listen to that CD, and I was so inspired by it because I had never heard Asian Americans express themselves in that way before, especially in terms of expressing anger, because I never really heard other Asian Americans talk angrily about things, and I was a very angry person. So it kind of made me feel like it was okay for me to express things that I had been experiencing or I had been thinking about for a really long time as an Asian American woman.
What inspired you to do Drop the Mic?
The students here at Community College of Philadelphia. I've been the Spoken Word Poetry Club advisor here at the college for 7 or 8 years now, and I've also done other spoken word poetry programming, various types of workshops, and I've had slams. And in the past few years, I've really felt as though students really love to have that opportunity to share their thoughts and really claim their voices in terms of who they are and what's important to them.
In a few words, what's a slam? Tell us.
So a slam is a spoken word poetry competition, and there are various formats for that, but it usually occurs in a couple of different rounds. Students share their poems and then they're scored by judges, and then basically they just whittle down until they get to whoever the champion is.
Are there any other poetry events you manage or host?
Well, here at Community College of Philadelphia, I have coordinated the spoken word poetry workshops. I also have tried to offer a program called Mighty Women, Mighty Pen, and PEN is an acronym from Poetry Empowerment Network. And so I wanted to be able to offer a space specifically for female students here at Community College of Philadelphia so that they could feel safe and free to talk about certain issues amongst each other, but also to build a support network for female students.
There's a very nice turnout at your events. Tell me, what do you think attracts students to spoken word poetry?
I think there are a number of things. First of all, it's something where they are free to express themselves on their own terms. I think that just in daily life, I mean, academics aside, where they're told that they're supposed to adhere to a certain structure or to a certain format. But in everyday life, I think that sometimes our students encounter that. They say, oh, you know, you can't express yourself freely, or there are just limitations or ways in which they're inhibited. But with the spoken word poetry, they really can express themselves any way they want to. There are no limitations on that. And so I think the freedom of being able to say what's on their mind and to declare themselves in a space that they can own, I think is one of the reasons why they're attracted to the spoken word poetry.
I've noticed students doing this, and I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
Why is there so much profanity in spoken word?
If it's appropriate for the tone of the piece as well as the emotion of the piece, then to me the profanity is fine as well, because if someone is angry, and if they're angry to the point where they're expressing that anger through profanity, then that's authenticity. And one of the key elements of spoken word poetry is that authenticity. So I think that people, I think that when people hear the profanity, I would just say, please try to listen beyond the profanity and really try to understand the message of the poem, because I'm sure that whoever has written the piece and is performing the piece, that's what they really want you to get, is the message, and not really get caught up in whether they're, you know, saying the F word or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah.
The message.
The message, absolutely.
Lastly, I want to ask you, poet to poet, what do you think is the importance of spoken word?
Having done this for 15 years professionally, I think for me the importance of spoken word poetry is the transformative power of spoken word poetry, the potential that it has to change people's lives. So it's a process of self-discovery that then, you know, even though it might begin inward, it eventually turns outward, and it's about drawing people in, it's about making connections, it's about recognizing the humanity in all of us. So for me, that's what's so important about spoken word poetry.
All I can say is, wow. That's all I can say. Well, that's all the time we have for now. Thanks for being with us, Michelle. We can't wait to see what else the spoken word poetry has to offer.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, let's hear what CCP students have to say on another artistic element, dance, and how it has evolved.
I do consider dance to be an art form.
Dance is actually one of the most amazing art forms because anyone can do it.
What I consider is dance to be art in motion. It creates expression.
It's a way of expressing one's thought, feelings, emotion.
I actually don't watch much TV, so I wouldn't watch many dance shows.
Some of my favorites include kind of the step up, the ones where they just kind of do some hip hop.
But I used to like America's Best Dance Crew.
Favorite style of dance would probably have to be freestyle dance.
My favorite style of dance to watch would probably be b-boying or breakdancing, because I think it's so amazing the technical skill that goes into it.
I would say hip hop.
I actually really like the shmoney dance.
The Bobby's Murder.
And I wonder if people are like.
My favorite vintage dance craze would probably be in the 50s, a little bit of the jitterbug.
Saturday Night Fever type, you know, dancing where like everyone's kind of in line and then you'll go down doing something.
I actually really dig, you know, the little tap dances people used to do like in the 50s, or little like swing dance and stuff like that. You know, their foot motions and their footwork, it was so incredible to look at.
Now, wasn't that interesting? Did you know that the Community College of Philadelphia has an event celebrating the art of dance? Let's see how the CCP community celebrated it this year.
I've been dancing about 5 years. I did go to a program called CMAC at Academy of Palumbo. They teach everything, all the elements of hip hop, which are DJ, graffiti, MCing, and b-boying. We threw this event a couple semesters ago. It's a city cypher gathering. We're trying to make it an annual thing here at CCP, and it's to bring the community together, really.
Tonight's event is sponsored by the Student Programming Board and also the B-Boy Club of CCP.
I've been dancing since I was about 12 years old.
We have been dancing for 7 years now.
I've been dancing since I was 7. Hip-hop is my favorite style of dance.
Break dancing.
I really like the EDM style of music, so I kind of incorporate like all different styles into that, and that's what I really enjoy dancing to. What inspires me to dance is I really have a passion for entertaining, not just dance. Musical greats such as Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Usher. Growing up, it was kind of rough, so sometimes we didn't always have to just go straight to basketball or drug dealing. You know, I went straight to, you know, dancing, doing what I love.
We basically invited all the people here tonight, and we also did promotions for the event and just got to DJ and make sure everything was set for tonight.
I got into today's event by actually hearing it through the schools, actually being posted through the dance community.
Saw it on Facebook.
I love b-boys, so why not come to their event?
You know, I'm a dancer as well, so I took interest.
A lot of us are linked together on Facebook, so we can tell each other about, events in Philly or outside of Philly.
Students can expect to experience a lot of dancing, different genres of dancing, but mostly b-boying, and a lot of crowd participation and a lot of great music from the old school.
What inspires me to dance is the creativity part of it.
It's real spiritual too, you get in tune with your body, you feel every aspect of yourself.
Dance is important to me because it keeps me healthy, active. Also, when I'm down, I use it as a coping mechanism.
It keeps us focused and out of trouble. It keeps us humble.
Almost like your spirit trying to jump out of your body, so it makes you move,
That looked like a lot of fun. I should have gone and maybe they would have taught me how to do the Dougie. Well, that's it for today. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Michelle Myers, and the viewers for tuning in. You have been watching Focal Point, the Community College of Philadelphia magazine show on CCP TV, the educational channel of Community College of Philadelphia. All segments for Focal Point are produced by the students in the digital video production curriculum. I'm Darlene Monts, a student in the Communication Arts curriculum here at CCP. See you next time.
But she knew home would have to wait, for she had promises to keep. So she sought solace in sleepless dreams of salvation and tattooed secret sins on the top of her tongue so that she would know the sweet taste of revenge. For she had dwelt on the other side of beautiful long enough, and now she wanted their blood, just like they had taken hers, just like they